there's a group of individuals out there, and we don't know whether they're minorities or whether they are a majority of the people in America, and not to mention the world, who has mixed feelings about homosexuality.
In the ritual of Baphomet, the transgender, to show allegiance to him, you had to kiss his ring.
Well, you mean you couldn't kiss a guy on screen in a movie?
No.
Not even, yeah.
No, because I don't fake it. I literally, it has to.
I couldn't kiss a man either. That's true. And that does not
I
make
would cut my lips off.
Yeah, no. Well,
I would.
okay,
if I kiss some man, I would cut my lips.
That's why. Do you know what the number one job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is? What? Is to act like it didn't happen. They all do the same job.
Katt Williams is shaking up the scene again. This time, he's riding hard for Terrence Howard, who just dropped a bomb about how black actors get pushed to play gay roles or throw on dresses in Hollywood, and it ain't sitting right with him. Terrence even shared he turned down some huge roles because he didn't feel comfortable kissing a man, and now Katt is standing firm with him and taking it to another level. Katt claims it's not just about playing gay characters, but he's calling out what he believes is a bigger emasculation agenda, targeting strong black men in the industry. For years, people brushed Katt off as a conspiracy theorist, but now that Terrence Howard is saying the same thing, people are giving this whole situation a hard look. Rumor has it Katt and Terrence might even team up for a podcast to spill the real tea about what goes down behind those locked Hollywood doors. If they really pull it off, it could shake the industry and expose a lot of secrets. But what exactly did Katt and Terrence say about this so-called agenda aimed at tearing down black men's strength? Let's get into it and see how deep this rabbit hole goes.
It's seen in there. It's seen in those places. But for me, with my constitution of what matters as a man, for me, that's the part that I.
Last month, Katt already had the internet buzzing after he made wild claims about Diddy trying to smash him. Terrence Howard is dropping bombshells again. He popped up on Bill Maher's Club Random podcast and told Bill he turned down the role of Marvin Gaye because he didn't want to kiss a man on the lips. Terrence shared he was at Quincy Jones's house when he heard a rumor about Marvin Gaye that completely flipped how he felt about taking the role.
Story that needs to be told.
I will let you know what happened with that. I was over at Quincy Jones' house. I'm not dropping names. I'm just giving credibility to what I'm about what I'm
never
saying.
Drop names. De Niro told me that.
Yeah. So, but I'm asking Quincy. I'm hearing rumors that Marvin was gay, and I'm like, was he gay? And Quincy's like, yes.
Oh.
He went around it with everything, and I was like, no, and I'm like, I could not. Yeah, well, it would have been that, but they would have wanted to do that, and I wouldn't have been able to do that.
Well, you mean you couldn't kiss a guy on screen in a movie?
No.
Not even,
No, because I don't fake it. I literally, it has to.
I couldn't kiss a man either. That's true, and that does not make me.
Cut my lips off.
Yeah, no. Well,
I would.
Okay,
if I kiss some man, I would cut my lips off.
Well, I would not do that, but it does not make me homophobic to not want to kiss a man.
And when Bill tried to press him, Terrence made it clear he ain't homophobic, but he just couldn't see himself playing a gay character in a way that felt real to him.
You know, no one wants to tell you how to.
Do what you love to do, but don't do it at me. Don't aim it at me. And I can't play that character.
Right.
100%. I can't surrender myself to a place that I don't understand.
Yeah.
And so that's the end part of that story of what I had to let go.
Well, I can understand.
You already know. The internet went wild after he said he'd cut his lips off before kissing a man. Some folks are calling him out, saying he's homophobic, while others are defending him, saying he shouldn't have to kiss a man just to prove he's not. And guess who's back in the mix? Katt Williams. He's been loud about how Hollywood allegedly pressures men, especially black men, to take on gay roles. And now, with Terrence saying the same thing, people are taking another look at what Katt's been saying for years. Way before Terrence even brought this up, Katt was already speaking out, but people labeled him crazy or bitter, and the tabloids tried to paint him as an addict to shut him up. Back in 2013, when Kevin Hart went viral for that SNL sketch and address, Katt Williams said it was deeper than just putting on a dress. Katt claimed it was about whether you're ready to play along with what he called the Illuminati to keep your spot in Hollywood. Basically, Katt says Hollywood uses this as a test to see how far you'll go and how much you're willing to let them control you.
So, you know, some of us make choices. I think it's not a biggest choice for others. I'm saying at the end of the day, Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress-wearing people before him. So now we had Big Mama's house 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I've never seen Medea in a pantsuit. I think she wears dresses. So now I'm saying, why are we picking on poor little Kevin Hart? Because it was his turn next.
Okay.
Some of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment. When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them.
Back then, most people brushed Katt off, calling his claims just another crazy conspiracy theory. But now, folks are replaying what he said and starting to think he might have been spitting some real truth. Last year, when Katt pulled up on Club Shay, Shannon Sharpe asked him about Dave Chappelle walking away from that $50 million deal because he didn't want to play roles that didn't sit right with him, and Katt dropped a bombshell. Katt revealed he had to walk away from big contracts too because they came with strings attached he wasn't trying to deal with. And it didn't stop there. Katt also said Martin Lawrence tried to get him to wear a dress for Big Mama's house, but Katt said nope. And that's when Brandon T. Jackson ended up stepping in for the role. Then, on Joe Rogan's podcast, Katt came with even more shocking tea, claiming that those secret industry parties were really about what he called be-fat rituals. According to Katt, there's way more happening behind those Hollywood gates than the public could ever imagine. People laughed it off again, calling it more of Katt's crazy talk, but there's a growing crowd who believe he might actually be onto something with these stories about rituals and backroom deals. And Katt ain't the only one talking about Hollywood trying to push a more feminine image on black men. Plenty of black actors, comedians, and even rappers have spoken out about it too. Look at Eddie Griffin. He was one of the first to call out Hollywood for always making black comedians and actors put on dresses on screen just to get roles. Eddie Griffin was calling out Hollywood's dress-wearing agenda way back in 1999. In his movie Foolish, which he starred in and wrote himself, Eddie played Miles Foolish Ways, a young comedian trying to break into Hollywood. There's a wild scene where studio execs try to pressure him into wearing a dress for a role, saying, "All the big stars have done it."
So what do you think? It's never been done before. 3 lovable drag queens driving cross-country, helping middle America solve its problems.
Y'all want me to wear a dress?
Foolish. This isn't a throwaway role. You'll be carrying the emotional energy of the movie.
Man, it's not that I don't appreciate the offer, because I do, but
there's a lot of money involved.
We're talking a major motion picture here, Foolish.
I don't know, man.
Harrison.
That's Harrison. So I guess that's me.
Yep. That's it. Yeah, love it.
I ain't feeling that, man. Can I say something that every actor probably want to say to a couple of gentlemen like yourselves?
Sure, sis. Anything you want to say.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Kiss my black...
And Eddie wasn't having it. Fast forward, and now actors like Jonathan Majors are getting dragged into this conversation too. Jonathan did a cover shoot for Ebony magazine in February, and some fans said those photos felt emasculating, adding more fuel to the rumors about Hollywood pushing this image on black men. At the same time, a lot of fans can't help but notice how many black actors and comedians blew up in Hollywood after cross-dressing in movies. Look at Big Mama's House, White Chicks, The Nutty Professor, and Norbit. It's like there's this pattern where for a black male comedian to really get that Hollywood shine, they end up in a dress at some point. It's like this unspoken rule in the industry, and people are starting to question why it's always black men being put in these roles. Back in the 70s and 80s, you didn't see this happening as much, but now folks are piecing it together and saying, something's up with this. Flip Wilson kicked it off back in the day, playing Geraldine on his show and getting big laughs doing it.
Monty K Supermarket, Geraldine speaking. Oh, how you doing, killer? Yeah, they got me working at the checkout counter. You better stop that. I checked you out a long time ago.
In the 90s, Martin Lawrence and Jamie Foxx jumped in too, with Martin playing Shanae on Martin and Jamie doing Wanda on In Living Color.
What do you want, Shanae?
Oh my goodness. If it isn't Little Miss Attitude, why are you always over here? I mean, don't you have a bag?
Called you tonight.
Hey, okay then.
I'll take you somewhere we can get wine.
For real though.
Dinner. And the whole 9 yards.
Oh yeah, but shoot, you talking this kind of stuff I like. Let's go.
Let's go. I want to see my angel.
Hey,
Float.
hey, that's my
Float
song.
on.
Then Eddie Murphy came through heavy, playing Mama and Granny Clump in the Nutty Professor movies, and people loved it.
A lovely evening. Then I would take him home and give him hot, lovely relations. Relations are a beautiful thing. It's nothing to be ashamed of.
The wedding gonna be here.
My
baby's not getting married. My baby is not getting married.
Who there called my name?
Yeah, I called you if your name is.
But when the 2000s hit, it turned into a full-blown trend. You had Sean and Marlon Wayans in White Chicks.
You sure this is gonna work? Just trust me. Follow my lead.
Tracy Morgan and Kenan Thompson rocking dresses on Saturday Night Live.
Oh my goodness, so many bags. I'm overheating. What y'all got the heat on up in here? Cause girl, I'm gonna have to take a paper towel to my underboobies.
Miguel Nunez Jr. in Juana Man.
What? You look so beautiful tonight.
Have we decided on dinner?
Get me.
Stymie that. Country got you crazy. 410-357.
And Brandon T. Jackson in Big Mama's House.
This is my great niece, Charmaine Daisy Pierce.
Hello. Hey, so many girls. I feel like I'm at a Baskin-Robbins, a festival of flavors.
And of course, Tyler Perry made a whole empire off Medea.
You going down, you understand?
I'll be glad when you go down to the graveyard and become some maggot food. Hell, I'm grown, I'm hungry. What I'm supposed to do, just sit up in this house?
Dressing up as her in movie after movie. At some point, it started looking like wearing a dress became a rite of passage for black comedians trying to level up in Hollywood. Now, people are looking at this with a deeper eye, connecting it to the history of the U.S. and the brutal ways they tried to break black men down back then. Black men were seen as threats, so they used the most violent methods to strip away what they saw as strength. This included horrific acts like castration and other tortures, and what they called buck breaking.
Among the countless atrocities inflicted upon enslaved individuals, one particularly dehumanizing practice was buck breaking. This barbaric act involved the violation of enslaved men aimed to emasculate them and assert dominance.
Now, there's a hot debate going on about whether black men wearing wigs and dresses in Hollywood is just comedy or a modern form of emasculation. Some folks are saying this is all part of a system to break down the image of strong black men, while others argue it ain't that deep and it's just acting. But let's be clear, when a black man plays a black woman on screen, whether he's in a dress, a wig, or both, it doesn't take away his manhood. Still, you can't ignore how many black actors had to put on that dress before they really got that Hollywood shine. It's not just about how wearing a dress doesn't take away a man's manhood or hurt the whole community. It's deeper than that. Another thing that gets overlooked is how the women these black men are portraying on screen don't get the respect or humanity they deserve. Think about it. A lot of the jokes that get repeated in these roles clown on how the character looks or talks, turning black womanhood into a punchline again and again.
For you, miss? What's wrong with you? Can I get a beer? Can I have a beer? Dog, he act like he seen a baboon or something.
And peep this. A lot of black actors who got big playing women on screen claim they based those characters on real women they knew. Tyler Perry said Medea was inspired by his mom and aunt. Martin Lawrence said Shanae was inspired by street-smart women from his block, named after fancy cars. And Jamie Foxx said the same about Wanda. Sure, it's comedy, but these characters often end up mocking a certain type of black femininity or making it look clownish. So when you stack these two issues together, the feminization of black masculinity and the distorted comedic portrayal of black womanhood, it shapes how black men and women get viewed in real life. Some people believe this feminized image of black masculinity is meant to make black men look less threatening, toning down that strong, powerful energy often seen in hip-hop and everyday life. It's almost like there's a system at play trying to balance out the image of black men, forcing them to look softer so society feels comfortable. Meanwhile, that same energy doesn't get pushed on others. Terrence Howard talked about this before, claiming that only white men are allowed to be seen as both strong and non-threatening at the same time. Terrence said with the new Hollywood formula, most men are made to be effeminate and lose their power or sense of strength. He said they allow white men to be strong, but when black men show that same strength, it's seen as a threat that needs to be toned down. I don't want to remove a few chromosomes just to fit into someone else's story. That's what Terrence Howard said, making it clear he feels Hollywood needs to expand its stories to let men be men while still appreciating a woman's beauty. Now let's talk about Katt Williams and all the noise he's made about the so-called dress ritual. At first, people clowned him, calling him a conspiracy theorist. But when folks asked him to explain, Katt stood firm, saying, all conspiracies have some truth behind them.
About your conspiracy, brother. There aren't that many conspiracy theories anymore because we found out that all conspiracy theories, there's a nugget of truth in there. It came from somewhere. That's where it became a theory. And then it progressed to the point where it became a conspiracy theory because there was something there. See, in our industry, who pays you is who tells you what narrative you're allowed to use.
And now, with Terrence Howard stepping up and saying he faced the same pressure to take on gay roles he didn't feel right about, Katt is showing him full support. Word on the street is that Katt and Terrence might even team up for a podcast to spill every messy detail about what really goes down behind the scenes in Hollywood. Nothing's confirmed yet, but fans are already losing their minds at the idea. One fan even said, will someone please put Terrence Howard and Katt Williams in a room together? If they could pull off a podcast, it would instantly be the most outrageous and real media property ever created. But what do you think about Terrence's comments on refusing to play gay characters? Is he being ignorant, or are Terrence and Katt Williams really onto something about this whole emasculation and humiliation ritual in Hollywood? Do you think it's all cap, or do you see the pattern too? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let's get this conversation going. And hey, if you want to keep uncovering these Hollywood secrets, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and share this with your crew so they can join in too. Don't forget to drop your take below, and I'll see you in the next one.